Happy holidays, everyone! So it's that time of the year where I end up spending way too much money. And I was thinking about it and I was like, let me look into how much I'm spending. $106. That's how much I spent this month. Not on holiday shopping, but on subscriptions I don't even remember paying for. I mean, don't you just hate it when that happens? You sign up for a free trial and then you just completely forget about it. So I decided, enough is enough. Let's get in control of all these subscriptions, shall we? I'm going to create a perfect system to manage all my subscriptions in one place. Hi everyone, I'm Romy and I'm here to help you explore online tools to make your life easier, even if you don't know how to design or code. So here's how we're going to do it. I need to create a list of my subscriptions in a database and then connect it to my email. So 3 days before I'm going to get charged, I get a reminder email to cancel it. So there are two ways I can do this, the organized way and the lazy way. Let me take you through both. Here are the tools I'll be using today. For my list of subscriptions, I'll be using AIRTABLE. For this kind of database, AIRTABLE is perfect. The second tool I'll be using is Zapier. Now Zapier will help me connect my database of subscriptions on AIRTABLE to my email. If you want to learn these tools, check the description box below. I've done videos on both these tools. So for you organized people out there, we'll do this in 3 steps. First, we'll manually enter all our subscriptions in AIRTABLE, which is our database. Second, we'll use Zapier to connect it to our email. And third, just to make sure everything is working perfectly, we'll test it. So let me show you how we're going to do it. We'll start with creating an AIRTABLE base. Let's call it subscriptions level 1. From here, we see a blank table, which I'll call the list of subscriptions. Now we need to rename all these columns with what we actually need and choose the right field type as well. So let's think about what data we need to know about each subscription. Name of the service, the important thing, the date I want to be reminded to cancel it before I am charged again, how much I'm being charged for it, and whether it's an annual or monthly charge. So let's fill in all this data. I think I'll add one more column. I want to see how much I pay for subscriptions per month in case I want to manage the cost. What I will do is add a formula field and then essentially tell it to calculate the monthly price based on whether the subscription is monthly or annual. If it's annual, we just need to divide it by 12. Wow, I spent $106 a month on subscriptions. Okay, I'm really not thrilled about this. Now, one final thing before we move on is let's add another view to this table. Basically, this new view will help AIRTABLE separate out only those subscriptions that are within 3 days of the renewal date. And those are the ones that I need to be reminded of. It'll make sense in a bit because this new table view is what will interact with Zapier, which will actually trigger the reminder email. Now, it's really easy to add a filter. We'll say it should match any record which is within 3 days of the cancelling date. And here we see it in action. Only my Uber Eats subscription shows up. Okay, so now we can move on to Zapier. Now, Zapier is used to help connect two apps and send data between them. In our case, it's AIRTABLE to emails. To start with Zapier, we'll create a Zap. The first app we'll choose is AIRTABLE. The Zap is basically a process or event that is triggered, and we want it to be triggered whenever a subscription comes within 3 days of its renewal date. Or in other words, the subscription shows up in the filtered table view we made in AIRTABLE. Now we need to choose the base in AIRTABLE, subscription level 1, the table, and the right view called upcoming subs. We continue and test it. And there, we see the Uber Eats row being picked up. So let's connect this to Gmail. In the action, we'll fill in the details of the email we want to send. I'll send the email to myself. Subject can be, please cancel the name of the subscription now. We can also have it show the actual name of the subscription by picking the data field. So let me make this more fun. I tend to ignore emails, so I had better speak seriously to myself. In the body, I can also include the prices I'll be charged to motivate myself to cancel it. Nothing motivates like money spent on things you don't want to spend it on. That looks good. We'll hit test and continue. It says it sent me an email and I see it here. Awesome. All we need to do is turn on the Zap. Before we completely rely on the system, let's do another test to make sure it works perfectly. If I put the renewal date as tomorrow, the system should immediately send me a reminder email. There, I see the email. I think we're all set. Level 1 done. Honestly, this seems like a lot of work. I'm a really lazy person and I won't remember to keep updating it all the time. So I made an easier system. It may take a little bit more time initially to set up, but once I get going, I never have to leave my email. Genius, I know. All you need to do is forward your subscription confirmations to a special inbox we will set up. And 3 days before, magically, you will get reminders to cancel your subscriptions. Along with Airtable and Zapier, I'm going to use another tool here called MailParser. Now, MailParser will help me extract the right data from an email. Essentially, I'm trying to outsource all the boring data entry work here to MailParser and Zapier. Step 1, we'll create an Airtable base, same as the previous method, which will have a list of our current subscriptions. Except this time around, we don't need to fill the data ourselves. That's going to be done by a service called MailParser. So in step 2, we'll set up an email address on MailParser so it can start getting subscriptions information from my personal email. I'm not going to allow MailParser to constantly search through all my emails. That's not something I want. But all it will do is read and interpret the emails I choose to forward to the MailParser inbox. So step 3, how do I forward the relevant information to MailParser? It's simple. I'll just set up a template in my email. So now MailParser has all the right data. How does it add it to Airtable? Simple. We'll set up a Zapier, which will connect MailParser to Airtable. And finally, step 5, which is the second Zap, the same as the previous method. When Airtable shows an upcoming renewal within 3 days, it'll send a reminder email to cancel the subscription. So let's get into it. Might seem complicated, but stay with me. Step 1, create the Airtable database. Don't start from scratch, simply duplicate the one we have and delete all the existing data because all the data will now be managed by the new favorite tool of lazy folks everywhere, MailParser. Next up, we'll go to the service called MailParser. Let's create an account. This account basically sets up an email address within MailParser. I name it subscriptions, and now let's try forwarding an email to this account. Every time we have to follow the same format of fields to be forwarded. Else the system could have errors and malfunction. So the fields I want to send to MailParser are the same: name of the subscription, the date I want to get a reminder, the price, and type. It's going to be a pain to type this up every single time. So let's just save this as a template. Now, while we're here, let's also save this MailParser address as a named contact. So I don't have to remember the randomly generated characters. Also, I like to feel that I'm emailing with a wizard. Now I've done that, we are ready to forward our first email. Let's pull up this email from Typeform. Now I'm really scared I'll be charged $200 for this one in the next year because this one is an annual subscription. So let's forward this one to our new inbox, aka the subscription wizard, which we just set up, and then use a template to give us the fields. And see, that's so easy. Now we'll go and check MailParser. There, we have the email. So it's already mapped out the fields, and that's all we need for now. All we need to do is confirm it follows the same steps for every email forwarded to this address. Now lastly, we just go to Zapier, set up the zaps to connect all these services, and we'll be done. The first zap we'll set up will take all the data MailParser receives and put it into Airtable. So let's make a zap. Let's select MailParser, choose our account, and then choose event as new email passed. Select the inbox, and we're ready to test this part. That works. Here's the data. The next step is adding this into Airtable. So we choose the Airtable app, and the action we want to do is create a record. We specify subscription level 2 as a base, and the right table, which is the list of subscriptions. Then we map the right fields, insert the data here, and then we hit test. A new row is created in Airtable. So cool. Finally, the second zap is actually a duplicate of what we already set up the first time. And in Zapier, you can literally duplicate a zap. So we'll just change the base to subscription level 2, and we're all good with that. And now let's do one final test. I'll change the date of the Typeform subscription to tomorrow. And then let's see if an email comes through. Oh wow, there it is. That's a perfect reminder to cancel this $200 subscription. Alright, so that was it. I have a link to the zaps I used and the Airtable template in the description box below, so you can reuse it and not have to start from scratch. Hit me up in the comments if this was useful, and more importantly, tell me how much money you saved when you started using this. Like and subscribe to this channel, and also tell me more of what I can help solve in your day-to-day life. Till the next time, enjoy the holidays, and also keep a really careful eye on those budgets. This is Romy, and I hope this week you saved something.